everyone, and welcome to the IPEC Forum. This is a platform where we unpack issues to do with insurance and pensions in Zimbabwe. It is brought to you by the Insurance and Pensions Commission, IPEC. Today's episode comes at a special time. It coincides with Insurance Awareness Day, which is June the 28th, a day set aside the world over to showcase and highlight the significance and importance of insurance and the role it plays in protecting individuals, families, and businesses from some of those unforeseen risks. Despite its importance and significance, insurance uptake remains relatively low in Africa, including here in Zimbabwe, and that is largely due to limited awareness as well as misconceptions about insurance. And those are some of the issues that we'll be tackling in today's program. We'll focus on some of those misconceptions and also the efforts underway to try and increase awareness. And to help me do that, I'm joined by none other than Mr. Lloyd Gumbo. He is the Public Relations Manager at IPEC. Great to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me, Farai. I'm happy to be here.
And so obviously we've mentioned that this is Insurance Awareness Month. This month is set aside for doing that, specifically June 28th. Let's begin at the beginning, as always. I always like to say, why is insurance important?
Thank you very much, Farai. So insurance is important in the sense that, in general, as human beings, we face risks. Mm-hmm. And insurance is one of the most effective risk management tools that's available to individuals, to households, and to business in terms of how they can manage the risks that they face. Oftentimes, people remember or they appreciate the importance of insurance after they have already experienced their loss. Like, you know? Yes, and others say insurance is like a parachute. Mm-hmm. If you don't have it the first time, you probably will not need it because you are already down. Yeah. So it's important that we raise awareness about insurance and why it's important for the public, for individuals, for households, and for business. Because risks, they do happen. Whether we like it or not, they do happen. And to manage that experience and to ensure that you avoid the financial hardship that you may experience from those unforeseen events, insurance is then a tool that you can use to reduce the impact of that loss.
You've just highlighted why it's important, and clearly it is, but uptake remains low, even here in Zimbabwe. Why is that?
Yeah, Farai, there are a number of factors that we can attribute this phenomenon to. Some of these factors include, number one, low levels of awareness on the importance of insurance, just general insurance literacy. We do acknowledge that it's very low. So we may be very good in terms of general literacy as a country, but when it comes to financial literacy, and in this particular case, insurance literacy, surveys that have been conducted indicate that our levels are very low. Mm-hmm. We are not doing very well because people do not appreciate. Some may know just general concepts around insurance, but in terms of the nitty-gritties around insurance, the terms and conditions of insurance, and how they can leverage insurance to manage the risks that they face, that is where the challenge is. Mm-hmm. So that's number one. Number two, from surveys that have been conducted, people say insurance is something that's very expensive. For them, it's not affordable. Others say it's not accessible. Particularly if you look at the people in peri-urban or in the rural areas, they may have limited access to insurance. Mm-hmm. The other factors also have to do with just the general perception that I think things will be all right. Yeah. I think I will be okay. Misfortune will not touch me. Mm-hmm. That's a general, view that we may have as humans. And also the other issue is there are people who think they don't necessarily need insurance because they have survived without insurance. Mm-hmm. But the problem with that, Farai, is a risk. It takes a minute, it takes a second to happen or to occur. So in as much as we may have not experienced misfortune over time, that's not a guarantee that we are not going to experience misfortune tomorrow or even today. So it's still important that we raise awareness around this, because most of these factors that I have raised, they have to, in our view, they speak to low levels of awareness again. Because even those who think that insurance is expensive, what is actually more expensive is not having insurance.
When you lose that valuable asset, or
you see. So for instance, for someone who has a vehicle, and that vehicle, maybe let's say it's worth $10,000, and their insurance, we could say maybe it's the premium is 5% of $10,000 per year. So that means it's $500, which is their premium for the year.
Yes.
So imagine you have just paid $500 per year for an asset that's worth $10,000. So if you were to lose that asset and you get a replacement, and you compare with losing the asset and you don't get the replacement, you need to find money elsewhere and buy another vehicle. So that shows it's more expensive not having insurance.
So clearly, from what you've just pointed out, there are a number of challenges, a number of barriers that have, deprived or prevented insurance uptake from increasing. What has been done? As IPEC, what have you done, and what are you doing to try and address those challenges?
Thank you, Farai. So maybe I could start with the affordability issue, which is often raised, where it's said insurance is very expensive. So what we have done is, besides raising awareness about how important it is, we have also, from a regulatory perspective, come up with what is called a micro-insurance framework. A micro-insurance framework, this allows for the licensing of dedicated micro-insurance companies. And these micro-insurance companies, they develop and sell products that are of low cost. They are relatively affordable because the premiums are very low for micro-insurance products. We have also, in terms of awareness, we have been conducting various awareness initiatives in collaboration with the industry itself, and also encouraging the industry to prioritize consumer education. In as much as they want to push marketing, from our perspective, we always advise that sometimes it's important to raise awareness first on the risks that people face. And then when you then follow up with marketing, people already have an appreciation of the risks that they face and how they can mitigate those risks through insurance. So we also encourage the industry to spearhead insurance awareness, so that people understand the risks that they face. Sometimes it's because someone doesn't even know that they face that risk. We may assume that they know when they actually don't. And sometimes they don't even know the risk management tools at their disposal, which they can use, like insurance, to mitigate, those risks. Then what we have also done is to, the micro insurance framework that I have alluded to, one of the other factors behind the low uptake is accessibility. Where you may find that people in the rural areas, they are unable to access insurance because there is no infrastructure. There are no insurance companies or offices in the rural areas. But what we have done now is, through the micro insurance framework, we have provided for distribution channels that allow for micro insurance products to be accessible to everyone, leaving no one behind. For instance, aggregators such as supermarkets, fuel service stations, churches, these are now allowed, in terms of the regulations, to sell insurance. So an insurance company can partner with a church organization, and that church organization sells insurance on behalf of the insurance company. So all these are measures to try and facilitate access to insurance by those with limited access, or with barriers around access, because insurance companies are very far. They are mainly found in the towns and cities and not in the rural areas. So I would say, Farai, those are some of the initiatives that we have come up with as IPEC to try and ensure that we improve insurance coverage, particularly for those who are underserved, those in the rural areas, those who work in the informal sector, the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises. All these measures are meant to enable access to insurance for them.
Fantastic. Now that you mentioned that, this whole issue of microinsurance, micro pensions, which you've alluded to and which you've heard about, it's a response to the dynamics in the market, isn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps you could just again reiterate the differences between microinsurance, micro pensions, and conventional insurance. And as you've reiterated, as also said, how you're promoting companies to roll these products out and for customers or users to take them up.
Microinsurance and micro pensions, they are relatively affordable.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said earlier, the premiums or the contributions are very low. Especially for insurance, the premiums are very low. And for micro pensions, the contributions, you can be paying them irregularly. If you are an irregular income, earner.
It's not always about month end.
Yeah, it's not about month end.
Yeah.
You can pay whenever you are, you receive your income. For instance, farmers, if it's banana farmers, they know the season that they harvest. So after they have sold their bananas, they're able to then go and contribute or pay their contributions towards their pension. Tobacco farmers, the same. So this is for irregular income earners or low income earners. Then number two, it's easily accessible because of the distribution channels that I alluded to earlier. And especially now with the digital transformation that's happening, where you can use mobile money, you can use the mobile technology to pay your contributions, to pay your premiums, and also the settlement of those claims can also be done through these same platforms. And the other thing there again is the quick turnaround times in terms of the settlement of claims for microinsurance products. They don't have those complicated processes that can take time to verify. It's not the case with microinsurance and micro pensions. And the other thing for micro pensions again is the benefits that you're paid. You are able to receive the benefits. You're able to withdraw. On a regular basis in a way that you can, compared to the conventional pensions where you have to wait for retirement age, for you to reach the retirement age.
As you were speaking, you spoke about banana farmers. And earlier you also then said there are some people who actually don't know they have a risk. And perhaps that's why they're not taking insurance. And I would imagine in a rural farming setup, agricultural setup, particularly at a smallholder level, there are perhaps some people who are growing goods that they then take to the market. It's a commercial venture that it may not be that big, but it's still a commercial venture. There is value in the crops they're growing, but perhaps they don't know there is insurance. Talk to us about agricultural insurance.
Thank you, Farai. So, as you may be aware, climate change has increased the frequency and severity of weather-related events. It has become a common occurrence now. In the past, we would have cyclones maybe once in 10 years, but now they have become more frequent. Again, drought, almost after every 2 or so years, we have drought, we experience drought. In the last 2 seasons, we had La Nina, where we had normal to above normal rains, but at the same time, we also had some areas that experienced excessive rains, which affected the crops. And we,
Exactly.
Because of the excessive rains. And then we also have regular drought experience, the El Nino phenomenon. 3 years ago, we had El Nino, and we are told that this year, we are likely to experience El Nino again.
A super El Nino, by the way. That's what they're saying.
If those smallholder farmers are to experience losses as a result of climate change, imagine the impact on us as a nation in terms of our food requirements. And even there is actually a correlation between agricultural performance and economic performance or growth. Whenever we experience drought, it kind of slows down economic growth. Because of how critical agriculture is to us as an agro-based economy. So for smallholder farmers, it's key that they have access to insurance so that they can be protected against these climate-related risks. Why smallholder farmers? For commercial farmers, the majority of them are insured. They already appreciate the importance of insurance. So we are targeting the smallholder farmers, particularly to raise awareness on why it's critical for them to insure their crops and livestock. And number two, for them to actually, insure against the potential losses that may be as a result of the risks that they face.
And as you said, they feed us. They provide the bulk of our food. So a very important effort there in terms of leaving no one behind in terms of that coverage. We need to take a break, Lloyd. We will be back. We'll continue this discussion. It is the IPEC Forum. When we come back, we'll be talking about some of the misconceptions associated with insurance. Stay with us.
At the Insurance and Pensions Commission, IPEC, our job is simple: to protect your interests as consumers of insurance and pension products in Zimbabwe. Through our Client Service Charter, we commit to transparency, efficiency, and professionalism in every interaction with our stakeholders. What can you expect from us?
Prompt responses to your queries,
fair handling of complaints,
clear communication about your rights and responsibilities,
timely processing of all licensing applications,
respect for your confidentiality.
We aim to respond to general inquiries within 3 working days and complex ones within 7 days. And complaints? We resolve most within 7 to 30 working days, depending on how detailed they are. What we expect from you.
Be respectful. Give us complete information.
Please report any misconduct or corruption.
Check our website first, www.ipec.co.zw. Your answer might be right there.
And remember, we are here for you. You can reach us by phone, WhatsApp, email, or even walk into any of our offices in Harare or Bulawayo. IPEC, protecting the interests of insurance and pension consumers.
Welcome back. The IPEC Forum continues. I'm joined by Lloyd Gumbo. We're talking about insurance awareness. You did say earlier one of the barriers is misconceptions. And what I often hear is, the insurance is one. So people view it as a luxury. For people who have that point of view, what do you have to say to them?
It's a misconception. Insurance is important because it's a risk management tool. It helps reduce the impact of the losses that we may suffer. What I need to underscore there, Farai, is insurance does not stop a risk from occurring. It helps reduce the impact, that financial impact of the loss, because the insurer will then come on board to assist you through that experience. If it's a farmer, maybe there is a hailstorm and their tobacco is destroyed. If they have insurance, they're able to quickly recover because the insurer will pay for the loss. But if they don't, they have lost out everything. They have lost out their sweat, their money, the investment that they have made. And number two, insurance helps even for one to invest more in a venture that they are doing, knowing that I am protected. Yeah. So a farmer is able to take risk because they know they have insurance. An MSME is able to take risk because they know they have insurance. So without insurance, it's very difficult, for one to have that confidence to invest, to take risks, because they are afraid that what if something happens, I will lose out everything that I have worked for. Yeah. So I think it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Mm-hmm. We need insurance to protect ourselves against all these unforeseen events. We may not have experienced them over time, but it doesn't mean that we won't experience them the following day.
Very lastly, we've obviously spoken about awareness and trying to get people to know about insurance. Now, as a parting shot, I want to ask you what message you'd have for people who know about insurance but have had a negative experience and perhaps have lost confidence in insurance. What do you have to say to them?
Yeah, we do acknowledge that there may be people who have experienced, we have had negative experiences with insurance or pensions. But what we want to advise is atira sembereko nekufirwa, number one. Mm-hmm. And number two, whatever concerns that they may have, they should bring them to our attention so that we can find ways of how we can improve our systems. We are continuously upgrading or improving our regulatory systems to ensure that any negative experiences that policyholders and pension scheme members, have with our regulated entities, we minimize them. We know it's important. Insurance is about trust. Yeah. It's about selling a promise. And once a promise is broken, sometimes it's very difficult, to restore or recover that trust from the policyholders. So we would want our industry, our insurance and pensions industry, to be trustworthy, for the policyholders and pension scheme members to trust them. And for us to be able to achieve that, sometimes we need to push both moral suasion and the laws. So on our part, we can put in guidelines, we can put in regulations to ensure that we tighten any gaps that may be there in terms of consumer protection, to ensure that we achieve consumer protection throughout the insurance or pension value chain, because that is key for us. Without confidence, it's very difficult, for people to say good things about insurance, especially if they have had negative experiences. But we say, yes, what happened may have happened, but we continue to improve our systems to ensure that those things do not happen again. With respect to one of the key militating factors against confidence in insurance and pensions is the loss of value that occurred in 2009 due to hyperinflation and the currency conversion that occurred. But we are in the process of making sure that this issue is resolved. All the stakeholders, they would want to see this issue resolved, because we all agree that it's the key to unlocking, that restoration of confidence in insurance and pensions.
Lloyd, I want to thank you for coming through and sharing those insights. I think for me, the thing that will stick with me is from the moment we wake up, we are facing risks. The beauty of it is that there is a parachute, as you said, that can protect us, which is insurance. So thank you so much for coming through. That was Lloyd Gumbo, Public Relations Manager for the Insurance and Pensions Commission. We're talking about insurance awareness. June is Insurance Awareness Month. June 28th is the day set aside to commemorate this. So we hope that you found some value in this and got a bit more education and awareness. If you want more information, obviously reach out to IPEC. If you have any complaints, if you have any issues or queries, reach out to them. The details on which you can reach them are on your screen right now. Would love to hear from you. And some of those issues that you raise could form the content for other episodes of the IPEC Forum podcast. Thank you once again for joining us, and be sure to join us again next time for another edition where we bring you more information about insurance and pensions in Zimbabwe. Thank you.